Hey, what is going on? What is going on? You already know what the fuck it is. It's hot than a motherfucker outside. Like, real for real. Like, it's hot than a motherfucker outside. Like, real hot. Like, when you're hot, you're really, really hot. Type shit. It's hot as fuck outside. Man. And please don't nobody come talk about it. Yeah, I know it's a place. I know it's a place that's much hotter than this. Man, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear that shit. Well, I don't know about that place, but I can tell you about the place I'm in right now, and I feel like somebody's cooking me like a motherfucker. So shout out to everybody out here in hot-ass Vegas dealing with this crazy-ass heat. I can't wait till this shit is over with, because it's hot as a motherfucker outside. For real. So shout out to everybody that's handling business and doing what the fuck they need to do. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. You're doing a great job type shit. Mr. Randy Watson type shit. But anyway, hey man, I appreciate everybody handling business, doing what the fuck they need to do. Shout out to everybody that's making it do what it do. Shout out to the finessers. Shout out to the niggas that's sitting around the house all day handling business. You know, shout out to all my people that's working from home. I'm talking about real motherfuckers working from home. If you got e-commerce, shout out to y'all. Shout out to blackandnoble.com. That's where I get my CMOS. I gotta drink me a CMOS shake real soon. I haven't drank one in a while. So shout out to blackandnoble.com. Shout out to everybody that's out there handling business. Shout out to all my black businesses that's trying to survive. I gotta read out to Freedom Paper Company, man, because they done never seen a nigga they fucking toilet tissue and shit. But it's all good. It's a black business. Shout out to everybody that's out here that's like, oh man, Beyonce's new video, man, she worshiping the devil. That was baffling, man. Niggas always want to find some shit wrong with the shit, man. So shout out to you dumbass niggas that don't want to read shit for themselves, but always want to assume motherfuckers worshiping the devil. First of all, the devil is the light bearer, nigga. Lucifer, Morning Star, come on, man, let's get it together. Stop fronting and act like you know what the fuck is going on. For all y'all that don't know, you need to do some more research. Shout out to all you motherfuckers that want to use religion, argue with a nigga down all day long, all day strong. I can't stand that shit. That's why you need to come to my church. My church got the teaching. Right. And how many offerings do they collect? And tell them where's heaven at and point it in the direction that I need to go so I know where to go. And how is it that they got a better connection than I got to go? And what please don't even get me started on that. So shout out to niggas that's handling business, doing what they need to do. Again, shout out to all the people that's out there that's dealing with this COVID-19 shit. It's like niggas don't, first of all, it's like niggas don't even know the shit exists. You go to parks, see niggas hooping, playing, see niggas with their mask on, but it's kind of like a fashion statement. It ain't even really like niggas got the shit. Then even the niggas that allegedly got the shit, you know, what the fuck is really going on? So shout out to motherfuckers that's really staying on the health kick. You see me, I got my pure lemon water with my spring water. Put some lemons in it and shit. Just got done drinking the alkaline water with some baking soda in it. Yes, I did put baking soda. If you go get pure baking soda at Arm & Hammer, on the back it said it's anti-acid. For sour stomach, all that stuff. So that means if it's anti-acid, it'll make your body pure. It'll make your body alkaline. 1.5 teaspoons gets you through the day. Keep all the dirty bullshit away. But anyway, I'm glad that everybody has gotten through the half of the week. We got one more day to it's Friday. You ain't got shit to do. So all you niggas that's getting ready to celebrate and handle business, shout out to y'all as well, man. And shout out to all the bitches that's out here lying to niggas. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. Niggas be lying, the bitches be lying too. So we gonna address that shit too, because I get tired of that shit. I see a whole bunch of motherfuckers, niggas lying and bitches lying, and then, oh, well, poor me. Men ain't shit. Bitch, stop that with the men ain't shit. I don't want to hear that. And I'm tired. And I'm tired of women I'm tired of women, bitches with 10 kids talking about niggas ain't shit, and 8 different baby daddies talking about niggas ain't shit. Now, what kind of shit is that? Damn. And then niggas talk about, shit, man, you know, you try hard, man. Try hard for a woman, man, and bitches don't be listening. Nigga, you need to do what you need to do. So I'll get into that later. Shout out to everybody that's handling business, man. Y'all already know what it is. You know what you tuned into. This is Warren G. Been clowning sucker free since 2003. Y'all already know me. As long as I don't get stung by no bee. Let me cut this shit down, man. Let me cut this shit down. Hey, man. It's a lot of shit going on, man. You already know what it is. A lot of shit happening. A lot of shit that need to take place. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you this, man. Man, anti-black racism strikes again. You're like, why you saying that? Nigga, let's get into it. We finna get into it right now. First of all, I gotta address Michelle Obama first. My sister. You got depression now? Well, how the fuck you think Mike Brown's family feel when y'all didn't say nothing to do nothing? How the fuck you think Oscar Grant's family felt when y'all didn't mention to say anything or do nothing? Trayvon Martin's family. Philando Castile's family. And you talking about you stressed out? Nah. Oh, I know why you stressed out. Because you don't like the contract that you in. And the contract is you can't say nothing, you can't do nothing. And now you talking about you depressed. Man, stop it. To me, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. See, they going with that mantra of, oh, depression and black people. No, the people, let me tell you why black people are depressed. Black people are depressed because we've been raped, robbed, pillaged, Jim Crow, gentrified, redlined, lynched. Need I say more? Segregated. What else do I need to talk about? So if anybody's depressed, that's why we're depressed. It's just black people don't want to say it because they don't want to offend the dominant society. But when you take on these type of attributes or take on this type of I want to get into office and do these certain type of things, but you're not finna even speak up on your own people, I don't feel sorry for you. I don't think you're depressed. Not the way you claiming to be. Oh, COVID and, you just worried. Man, stop. Now everybody running with that shit. That's why I said, I said that shit too, man. I watched The Breakfast Club too, man. But when they be pushing that mental health shit, y'all got to be careful with that shit, man. Because white people could use that shit. Oh, I was mentally ill. So that's why the white man walked up in that, Dylan Roof walked up in that church and prayed with everybody and shot everybody and killed him. Was he mentally ill? So y'all got to be careful with that shit and stop using the dominant society's talking points to figure out what you going to do. And thinking that they're going to feel bad for you because you mentally ill. They don't give a fuck about you being mentally ill, nigga. Stop it. They've never felt, look, they know what they've done. Stop explaining that shit to these people. They know what they've done. So when you have people like Michelle Obama trying to play this game, no, really, you just didn't care about black folk. You or your husband. Yeah, to me, y'all didn't care about it. Y'all didn't care about our struggle. Y'all didn't care. Y'all used the mantra of hope and selling hope to everybody. You just like a regular preacher. You selling hope and all this other bullshit. Then when it came down to it, shit, you didn't say shit. You didn't do nothing. Jesse Jackson and all the rest of these bootlicking, telling about gun buying, Sambo ass, motherfucking mammy coons. They all the same. And the reason why I say that, because when you're in a position of power, first of all, before you take that position of power, you better realize what you're doing. That's one. Two, you better understand the rules of engagement. Understand exactly how it's going to work from A to Z. And then three, once you take it, own it. You can't take it and be like, oh, I feel bad. Nah. That's why the whole time Obama was in office, they said or did nothing. All they did was keep perpetuating the same policies and procedures that were in place from when the last regime was in place, position of power. They're not gonna change that shit. Niggas think they gonna change it. Oh, when Biden get in, Biden ain't gonna do shit. Biden ain't gonna do shit, just like Obama didn't do shit. None of these people did nothing. First of all, this lady on Twitter was like basically telling me like, oh, well, that's the problem. Black people don't want to vote. I said, vote for a system that has clearly shown us historically that they don't give a fuck about black people. So why would I participate in a system like perspective? Why would I do that? And I was like, and I wasn't trying to get etymology and, I just kept saying, no, but you're using the dominant society's talking points. Oh, well, that's the only way we're going to affect change. No, you need to use Dr. Claude Anderson's the dominant society's talking points. Oh, well, that's the only way we're going to affect change. No, you need to use Dr. Claude Anderson's formula, Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth. Go get those 2 books and rent or lease these goddamn politicians and make them do what you want to do. When you're done, you get rid of their asses. See, we go with likability. Well, I like Obama, or I like Kamala Harris, or I like all these mammies and Bakari sellers of fucking Sambo that'll talk shit about black men suffering from toxic masculinity and all this other shit, because those are the white men. In my personal perspective, those are dominant society talking points. That's what white people tell you to say. And you gonna go with whatever they say. That's why on CNN and all these other outlets, they don't never have no strong black men that's really not gonna take their shit and really speak on injustice and speak on how to replace the system of racism and white supremacy and establish a system of justice. They never have a nigga on TV that be talking that shit. They only have buck dancing Sambos or niggas with no mustaches acting moist and shit and fucking snapping their fingers and doing all this bullshit and catering to the LGBTQ, LMNOP, XYZ community like they are. Now, why they not going after Ellen DeGeneres? Clearly your show was treating people fucked up and you knew about it. But did you say anything? No, you're not gonna say nothing. Why would she say anything? Why would she say anything, Warren? Why would she say anything? Because she don't give a fuck. But that little troll bitch is the main bitch trying to liken civil rights movement to the LGBTQ, LMNOP, XYZ. No, get the fuck out of here. Stop. And we need to shut motherfuckers down and stop running and taking up for motherfuckers. No bad. Sometimes it's good to just be like, let it alone. And don't say nothing. The reason why I say that is because a lot of times we kind of go with the okie doke because we trying to maintain relationships. And I get it. I understand. But sometimes it's good not to say nothing. Then people kind of know, like, well, at least they stayed out of it. But once you interject yourself, motherfucker gonna be like, oh, so that's what you want. And I'm gonna try to play this shit about, we gonna get on Michelle real quick. So let's play this shit and see what they talking about. Let's see what they talking about if it play. Cause you know these motherfuckers be bullshit and playing fucking commercials like we T-Mobile now with Sprint type shit. Fuck out of here, nigga. Play no motherfucking commercial. They always playing these clown ass commercials. So you gotta watch these niggas. Nah, nigga. Fuck you and 5G.
These are not, they are not fulfilling times spiritually, you know. So I know that I am dealing with some form of low-grade depression, not just because of the quarantine, but because of the racial strife and just seeing this administration, watching the hypocrisy of it day in and day out is dispiriting.
I want to discuss this with CNN's Abby Phillip.
Man, what? Now, let's dissect that. You don't like it? Of course, that's a democratic, dominant society talking point. That's a cheap trick. Why you say that, Warren? The reason why I say that's a cheap trick, because I'll tell you this. Why are you blaming this administration? Donald Trump does not control anti-black racism. Donald Trump is just a speaker, and he's a representative of anti-black racism. He's a representative of racism and white supremacy. But racism and white supremacy is a fucking team sport, people. Remember that. So don't be tricked and fooled by, oh, well, this administration. Let's put Donald Trump and his administration to the side. Not that I fuck with the nigga, but I'm just saying, let's put his administration to the side. Why don't you call out all these corporations that are practicing anti-black racism? Michelle Obama. Why don't you call out the St. Louis Police Department for killing Mike Brown, basically lynching him in front of everybody and lying and getting off, talking about he was afraid for his life? Why don't you call out the Fraternal Order of Police and how they do business and how they bully other people and district attorneys and shit, and that's why nobody prosecutes it? Why don't you call out the DA, Wesley Bell, who did not want to prosecute the killers of Breonna Taylor? Why don't you call that out? Why are you just focusing on Donald Trump? You know why? Because those are Democratic talking points. That's the Democratic Party talking points. That bitch don't give a fuck. In my personal opinion, she don't give a fuck about no niggas. I'm sorry. Not like that. Because why are you mentioning that? You would mention the things in specific. And why do we always have to blame it on Donald Trump? That's a deflection. And that's an alligator roll. I'm not saying that Donald Trump isn't racist. He is. We know that he's racist. But how many times we going to talk about he's racist? Was anti-black racism practicing? Motherfucker, too. And all the other presidents before him and all the ones after him. Bill Clinton, anti-black racism, practicing person as well. Hillary Clinton, anti-black racist. Go get the Negro Project. It talks about Margaret Sanger and all the immoral bullshit that she wanted to do and sterilize and say we was like weeds that needed to be exterminated. That's what she said about black people. He's like, well, why are you bringing up Margaret Sanger? Because that was Hillary Clinton's hero. That's why. That's why. But motherfuckers don't want to talk about that shit. Now let's see what these two women have to say about what Michelle Obama said.
And I mean, Abby, I think this is so important to listen to it because you can also hear her tone of voice. She is being blunt, and it is rare to hear a first lady be so.
What's going on, Shawnee Brown? I had to stop real quick. Hey, shout out to Shawnee. For real, for real. What's happening?
Blunt like this. What inspired her to share this?
This is all part of Michelle Obama's coming out in the post-presidency where she's taking control of her own narrative. And Brianna, what we see in this conversation is Michelle Obama sitting down with Michelle Norris, who is one of her closest friends, and they're really getting candid about how they are coping with the pandemic. And she talks about how she has had at certain points stopped being able to go to the gym to work out, and that.
And what the fuck does that got to do with anti-black racism? See, CNN is nothing but a Democratic shield as well. They are agents for the Democratic Party. Trust me, the Liberal Party has got their hands all over CNN. I'm telling you. That's why when you watch CNN, never think that they're going to really delve into anti-black racism and how it affects black people and really have the real conversations about it. No, what they're going to do is tap dance around it, make it seem like they're talking about it, but it's going to always some way result back to, oh, well, Donald Trump. That's why we need to get out and vote.
Sort of the moment where Michelle Norris, Eve said to her, wow, you haven't been going to the gym, because as we all know, Michelle Obama is known for her physical fitness. When she was in the White House, was a regular in the gym. And she said, yeah, this is part of how it's been a struggle for me to deal with the racial injustice, to deal with the pandemic, the physical isolation of it all, and the weight of all of these things happening. So they get very candid on all of these different issues, and you can hear it in her voice, the way in which it is.
They're actors, so hear what in her voice?
She said it has been difficult, but she said that there have been times when she's had to sort of allow herself to have a week where things are not normal, and she sort of gives into it, and be forgiving of herself for that. I think it's something that perhaps all of us during this pandemic can identify with.
Yeah, stop it. We don't want to hear that shit. Shawnee, would you say that that video was fake? Well, let me tell you something. Shawnee. You said that, oh, my friend sent it to me and then sent a group chat message that said, watch Shawnee go off. She is going to say it's some white supremacy shit, and I fell for it. Look, don't even trip. Let me tell you something, Shawnee. Honestly, to tell you the truth, whether it's fake or not, what Shawnee's talking about is it was a video that I played on a podcast, and I just gave my perspective, and we all talked about it. Me, Shawnee, Wendy, I'm pretty sure Tasha saw it, Tamisha saw it. Don't even trip. Whether if it was fake or not, who give a, like, look, to me, we still had great dialogue. And let me tell you why. Because we know that David Rockefeller done had about 8 heart transplants. So whether that video was real or not, there's nothing you can tell me, because it is documented history that David Rockefeller had 8 heart transplants. So that lets me know that they're still harvesting organs. That's why that young brother out of Atlanta that was found folded up in a goddamn wrestling mat, when his mother went to claim the body and identify the body, all his organs were missing. And the coroner was like telling her, like, you need to check his organs, basically. And then she was like, why is my son's organs missing? So what that tells me is, whether it was real or not, let me tell you something, whether it was real or not, we know, Shawnee, what it is. That's a fact. This is just my honest opinion. Don't trip. Let me tell you something about niggas. Niggas will send you shit to watch you guard because they take pride in that. You know why? Because a lot of people, my personal opinion, are just envious because you have knowledge, you read, and you're going to give your honest perspective on it. And people take pleasure in watching you do that because, in my personal opinion, they feel like they had that type of perspective. So don't trip. It was good dialogue. Not even trip. Who give a fuck if it's fake or not? Nigga, Donald Trump said everything on the news is fake. He said don't believe fake news. Straight up. So who give a fuck? We just putting out there what we see. And your friend that did that, don't even get mad at that shit. Get glad. We still had a good dialogue, because that made me bring up David Rockefeller. So it don't matter. And we all know, Shawnee, that David Rockefeller had 8 heart transplants. If you go watch Fascism of America, go watch that. Fascism of America by Aaron Russo, the nigga that ran for governor in 97 in Vegas. That nigga did a whole documentary on how, you know, the government trying to control everybody and how David Rockefeller and the Rothschilds and everybody is in cahoots and all that other shit. So don't even trip off that shit. I still believe they organ harvesting. That's why I'm not no donor. I'll never be an organ donor. Nah. You know what? If something happened to me, God forbid, my family could take my organs. And if it ain't going to my family or a close friend, then fuck them. Nigga, if it ain't going to nobody black, they ain't getting shit. Fuck that. I cursed them the fuck out. I said, why the hell? Hold on, let me get my phone. You said, why the hell? I cursed them the fuck out. I said, why is what I stand for funny? She is cute. I don't need side haters. Exactly. You know that's how niggas are. Hold on, let me get my shit. I dropped my shit. Hey, you know how people are. Let me tell you something. Envy and hate is everywhere. Remember that. Trust and believe you me. Shawnee, you already know. My nigga, Shawnee, you already know. You of all people ought to know. Remember, look, Dr. Boyce Watkins has said it a million times. Like, once you start reading and coming to your own knowledge and shit, you're not going to be able to have those same friends, especially when you moving on and you're doing something that's productive within your life. You can't keep those same people. So if you can't change the people around you, then change the people around you. That friend, hey, they just let you know exactly how they feel about your stance on shit. And they're envious of it, apparently, because why would they do that? They did that because of envy, jealousy, because maybe they not reading the shit. And even if they are reading the shit, they ain't taking it serious. So that just lets you know what it is. Trust me, I done had people like that. Let me tell you something. That's why I be by myself. Shawnee, you should already know. If it ain't Nuke, shout out to Nuke. If Nuke ain't on this podcast or one of my siblings, I had my niece. My niece Desiree, she did a podcast with me like 2 years ago. This November, it'd be like 2 years ago she did a podcast. But it ain't none of my family. You ain't finna see no. And Nuke is considered family to me. So if it ain't Nuke, ain't none of my family members, ain't nobody gonna be on this motherfucker. It's gonna be me. Unless it's somebody that I have vetted out, they have vetted me out, and we on the same page. We can agree to disagree, but I'm not finna be dealing with that type of shit because I get it. I know you was probably irritated, but don't trip. We still had a great convo about that shit. Don't let these motherfuckers fuck with you about that shit. You know how niggas are. You know niggas that do shit like that. Niggas do it to me too. So don't even trip. Let me tell you something. That's what people do. That's why, hey, like I said, Shawnee, before, when the channel grow, and it will, I wanted to grow at this speed though. When it grow, you gonna look back and you gonna see all these people in here that's supposed to be been down from the beginning. You gonna be laughing at their ass. You gonna be like, nigga, I was around when it was just me in the chat room. And that's it. You feel me? You gonna be like, where the fuck y'all niggas come from? You see what I'm saying? Don't even tread. That shit is everywhere. No, don't be, look, we need those type of videos, whether it's true or false. You know why? Because that brings a better light and a better perspective to the David Rockefeller shit. And look, that video could be false, but let's talk about what's true. That young brother that was wrapped up in that wrestling mat and those two white supremacist family members elected to some type of Supreme Court judge, and they got away scot-free. That's real. And when the mom found his son wrapped in a wrestling mat, when they called her from the coroner's office, she come down there and talk to the coroner. They like, yeah, you might want to check the body. His organs are missing. So how the fuck is his organs missing? So that's real. So I believe that they organ harvesting. I remember Dick Gregory was talking about that, how they organ harvest and all these killings you see, a lot of that shit. That's why I said the nigga that killed, I think it was FBK Duck or whatever. I think that was police that had something to do with that shit. They'll kill motherfucking Fred Hampton. They'll kill him. So, and they like to keep beef going. That's why when I listen to this Michelle Obama, I'm like, man, you stressed out about what? What you stressed out about? Man, stop it. Now let's get on this TCU coach. See, I love it. Because now they coming out the bag and they tell us how they really feel. And he already, you know, and it's so funny because I was just watching this Last Chance U, and a lot of the black players, they be like, hey, my nigga, woo, woo, my nigga, and the coaches kind of like act like they don't hear it. They don't respond to it. But deep down inside, I know they want to be like, stop saying it, stop saying this. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what they talking about, because it ain't talking about shit.
By Notre Dame to join up to share its NBC revenue with the ACC. Notre Dame will play full slate of ACC
No, they ain't talking
games,
about
whatever
shit,
that
man.
is.
Fuck outta here. Let me see. I want to see what they talking about, because the reason why I want to see the press conference. Get on it. Let's go. Let's talk about the TCU coach. Let's see what they talking about. Man, and these motherfuckers be clout chasing just to get motherfuckers to go to their site.
I mean, the ideal from yesteryear of the authoritarian head coach has diminished significantly.
Yeah, see, these motherfuckers is bullshit. See, they don't want to talk about this shit. And then the motherfucker said, I met with our senior, and I let the story go on because I wanted to see how it was going to turn out. This motherfucker wrote, I met with our seniors in leadership council last night about how we move forward. Why is it we got to move forward with you, but Nick Cannon gets fired, not for calling a Jewish person out of their name, not for using a racial slur towards a Jewish person, but because he said that we were the real Jews and we were the real Hebrews, and that white people are savages based on Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's study of genetic annihilation and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's study. He never called them out of their name. He never said nothing. But this motherfucker clearly said nigga type shit, mimicking the black players. And then they probably was like, hey man, don't be fucking saying that shit. And then now saying, oh, I met with senior manager and now we gotta move on. Man, stop that shit. What you mean move on? Stop. See, that's what man, come on, man. We gotta wake up. I'm good, I'm salty, right. Too close to reality to play like that, okay? That's real. Too close to reality. But some people are haters though, Johnny, man. They'll hate. I'm telling you, I've been around motherfuckers like that. They'll hate. Let me see. I'm trying to find it, but these motherfuckers is bull. And they keep acting like they want to show it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what they talking about. Let's see what this is talking about.
If we don't have a fall with college football, what's that going to do to the...
Man, see, I know what I'm going to do. Hold on. Let me see. See, these motherfuckers, I know what they be doing. They just try to get people to come to their fucking site. Then you go to their site, they babbling about some other shit. And they ain't even talking about the real shit. And it's like, nigga, what is you doing? You know what I'm saying? Man. Hold on real quick. Let me see. Let's see. They got it in the video. All right, I want to hear Shannon talk about that. Let's get Shannon's take on it. Shannon Sharp always go in, so let's get Shannon's take on it. I'ma always go to Shannon at the end, always, with some real shit to say. All right, let's see.
Just this morning, Patterson tweeted that he met with the team last night and apologized for his use of the slur. He also said the use of the word in any context is unacceptable and he must live by the same standards that he holds his players to. I've been thinking on this.
No. We can use it, but you cannot. Stop trying to make it, well, nobody, no, you can't use it. We can. Stop it. Fuck out of here. They try to, white folks are really trying to shame you into using the word nigga, man. Get the fuck out of here. You got me fucked up, nigga. Stop. Man, to me, I feel like as long as you're not at your corporate plantation job or around your people, you should be able to use it. You're not dealing with them. Stop.
I would like, Shannon, your reaction to this story.
Well, there's never an excuse. And Gary Patterson, you don't get to determine how we communicate amongst our peers.
Thank you. That's why I fuck with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, honestly, is as good as you're going to get when it comes to standing up against anti-black racism. I'm sorry. He the reason why I watch Undisputed, because he be going in. He's quick to go in like, no. That's a bunch of bullshit. He's quick to do it. He's quick. Very, very good response. Like, you don't get a chance, because when you're dealing with the dominant society, what they're good at doing is trying to make black folk feel bad about using that term amongst each other, because they can't say it, because they know the meaning behind when they say it, and they know the difference behind when we say it. They're very aware of what's going on. So what they do is they try to like usher you into that belief system of nobody can say, you don't think I done met black folk that's like, oh, we don't say that word in miles. I was like, oh, y'all niggas is crazy. I was like, do you even know what that word means? Do you know the etymology of what it means? I'm not talking about the Webster's clown-ass Klebster's dictionary. I'm talking about the etymology dictionary, the root of the word, because y'all going by the Latin root of some shit that they gave you to determine that we ain't shit type shit. So you like, oh, well, that's just what it means. But if you dive deep into it and look like, oh, this shit means God. It doesn't even mean what motherfuckers is saying it mean. Stop. You know what I'm saying? And then they try to shame you into it. White people, instead of you trying to shame us into not saying the nigga and saying the N-word, why don't you replace the system of racism, white supremacy, and establish a system of justice, motherfuckers? Stop going and you alligator rolling and deflecting to some other shit. When he said that, them players should have been like, well, we don't want to play for you no more. They did Nick Cannon. They fired Nick Cannon for talking crazy. He didn't even use a racial slur, period. They try to say, oh, you anti-Semitic. He said no racial slur, no nothing. This motherfucker, nigga type shit. I know what he did. And, oh, well, we just got to move forward. Man, get the fuck out of here. He let y'all know all y'all need to know. That's how he felt. We just want y'all niggas to get on the field and run, nigga, run. That's what he wanted. So don't get it twisted.
Especially in our community. You don't get to tell me how I can talk to somebody else in my community. You stick to your community and tell y'all communicate how you want to and allow us to do the same. Yep. But Skip, you see the recurring theme here? Mm-hmm. Now, a couple of years ago, the Clemson tight end coach did the exact same thing. He repeated what someone said. So in other words, that's the opportunity to say that word.
Yep.
But I'm just repeating what I'm just saying.
Yep. Break it down, Shannon. Break it down. You wanted to say it anyway. You've been wanting to say it the whole fucking time. You've been wanting to say, why don't you niggers get on the field and do what the fuck I tell you to do? That's basically what you want to say anyway.
Mm-hmm. Skip.
I also believe it happened at Iowa, so we've seen several instances of
so
this.
we see a reoccurring theme here.
Yep.
Skip, you don't have kids, but I do. And kids would sometimes say things, and I never repeated, don't say that, you know what? We don't use that word.
Yep.
Why couldn't Gary Patterson simply say, whatever the player's name is, we don't use that word?
Dylan Jordan.
Why didn't you just say that? Dylan Jordan, we don't use that word. See, as Neely Fuller Jr. teaches, you always start a conversation out with the dominant society with a question. So if you said we don't use that word, why don't we use that word? Tell me why. Do you have the etymology dictionary term of the word? Well, why is it I got to go with your belief system when my parents have taught me different? So explain that to me. Started with a question. But that coach didn't want to go through that. He just wanted to tell. He wanted to say nigga anyway.
We don't use that word, son, here. We don't do that. But he wanted to repeat it. And then when they boycotted, they got to the meeting, Skip, he said, I wasn't calling you that again.
Nevada homeowners.
Wow. That man. So he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
Come on, Gary Patterson, you know. Skip, Gary Patterson known us to be a lot of these kids' grandfather.
Thank you.
So for him not to know, and they also ask him, say, will you please stop saying you don't see color? Because everybody knows that's a lie. Because you drive, you pull up to a stop sign, you don't blow through it, you stop.
Man. He in all the talking points. What have I been saying? When a motherfucker be like, I don't see color, be like, oh, that's the anti-black racist right there. And you don't see color. Now all of a sudden you don't see color. Why is that? And then why is it when we talk about the Jewish community, the white Jewish community getting reparations, that's anti-Semitic. But when it comes to us, they want to talk about the goddamn Native Americans. Jane Elliott. See how that works? You see how you praise the motherfucker, and then when you really, that's why you can't put your trust in no man when it comes to dealing with anti-black racism. You got to fight it on your own. Stop expecting other people to stand up for it. Nah. See, I feel like we put too much responsibility on Nick Cannon, but not looking at what was going on around Nick. If you're looking at what's going on around it, you should know, oh, he's paid by the dominant society. So there's only so much he can do. So we got to go with that. But no, motherfuckers is treating Nick Cannon like, oh, well, how dare you, niggas? Like, well, not really. Because if y'all was in that same predicament and you're not trying to lose your generational wealth that you're trying to pass on to your kids and that you don't work hard for, you're not trying to use that shit for niggas you don't know. You feel like, well, nigga, I'm doing my part. They slapped me down. Fucking, I'm apologizing. Keep it pushing to get my bread. Niggas need to stop acting like they wouldn't do the same thing. Because if you did, then go to your job and tell your boss, fuck you, and kiss my ass and walk off, and then think you're going to apologize and keep the job. You're not going to do that for nobody, especially niggas you don't know. So niggas stop acting like you, well, if I was Nick Cannon. No, the only thing Nick Cannon should have did from my perspective was own his own shit. That was it. He should have took that time to own his own shit, but stop acting like, oh, well, they supposed to be like that. No, they not. Activists are not millionaires, and millionaires are not activists. That's why they're millionaires, and that's why activists are normally poor motherfuckers. Or not just poor motherfuckers, just people that got to move a certain way, and they don't have the same luxuries as most people because they're taking that brunt of that hit, fighting for their people. That's how it go. So we can't act like that.
You go to you run on the street, your traffic light, it turns green, you go. How can, if you don't see color, how could you do that? It's not whether or not you see color, it's that when you see that, you react, Gary Patterson. Your players have every right to be upset. Skip, I don't think he should be fired, but I do think he should be suspended.
No, he should be fired. I disagree with you on that one, Shannon. I'd fire that motherfucker. They fired Nick Cannon. He ain't say no racial slur, not nothing. They just say he was anti-Semitic for waking up his people. So why is it Nick Cannon ain't fired, but this coach get a chance to make it through another day? Talking about I met with senior counsel. All they did was say, don't say this shit no more and leave the players alone and apologize to them. And we can keep it moving so we can win these games.
I believe Gary Patterson should be suspended. He knows better than this. And we got to stop this notion. Well, I'm not calling you that. I'm just saying you shouldn't say that. Okay, Dylan Jordan, we don't use that word. We really appreciate it. We're trying to clean it up. We don't say that. But for you to repeat it after you know what that word means, even in the context that when Dylan, he said it to a teammate, you don't get that luxury. But again, Skip, if you create something, you want to. Skip, that's your car. You feel you should be able to drive it whenever you want to. You should feel you should jump in Ernestine's car, that Bentley, and drop the top and go anywhere you want to. Now, Ernestine might pull up on you, but you feel like, well, hold on, Ernestine, I did buy it. So if I want to take it to the store.
I have to have permission.
Good, you should, because you got a lead foot. You should have to have permission. And she want her car to stay nice. But Gary Patterson is out of pocket for this. He's wrong, and the Big 12 and the university should take action against Gary Patterson.
Woo! Facts on facts on facts. Facts. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that. That's all I got to say. That's a fact. Man, let me tell you something, man. I'm just going to give my perspective on it. That doesn't surprise me because that's how those coaches really feel. I was watching, Shawnee, if you got Netflix, go on Netflix. All y'all out here that's listening, if you ask Chance U, they had one white coach who was from Compton, grew up around a lot of black folk. You know, I feel like, and no caping, he had the best perspective when it came to black kids. And the reason why is because he straight out told one of the black kids on the team. He said, look, you better get your shit together. Because if you don't get your fucking degree, you're going to be working for somebody that look just like me. He's like, I'm just telling you right now, they're going to be your boss. So get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Now, was he overly theatric? Yes, he was. Was he overly over the top a lot of the times? Yes, he was. Very dramatic. Dramatization to the fullest? Yes. But I felt like he, the coach from Compton, had the best perspective. A white coach. He had the best perspective for black children. Now, I didn't say he knew what was best for black children. I just said he had the best perspective. What's the name of it again? The show on Netflix? Last Chance U. Last Chance, and then U. And it'll bring it up. I binge watched the whole thing. And there was a white counselor on there, right? this what really got me interested, because it was a white counselor, right, that they had. It was in Mississippi. So it was a white counselor. And all the black kids got to go. It's a school that every kid goes to. It's like a top JC school in the nation that has a football program. So a lot of kids go through there when they get kicked out of their D1 school. This white counselor, who I'm watching because anti-black racism gonna come out of her. And then as throughout the season, she starts getting frustrated with the coaches. But she's not getting frustrated with the coaches because they saying nigga or they acting a fool. She's getting frustrated with the coaches because she felt like the coaches are just farming them in here but don't care about their education, don't care about their well-being. So I started to watch more. And as I watch more, the more I watch, the more I'm like, man, this white lady's making sense. Then I start to see how the young players, you gotta watch it, Shawnee. Y'all gotta watch this, how they interact around her. And I mean, this nigga, fuck that nigga, oh no, nigga, woo, nigga. Not once, from my recollection, did I ever hear her try to give them a speech about saying nigga. Never one time did I hear her say that. Matter of fact, the majority of the time, I think she was kind of numb to it because she was probably so used to it because she was probably dealing with black kids since she been at the fucking JUCO for so long, she probably just was used to it. But what I liked about it was she knew how to tune a lot of the shit out that she couldn't control and get to the crux of the education for the black players. And I didn't see no funny style business. And what I watched, see, she didn't, the coach from Compton, she didn't really say nothing too bad about him, if I'm not mistaken. But she definitely did not like the white coach. It was another white coach, big old fat white guy. You could tell, you could just tell he was only dealing with niggas because they made his school look good. I'm telling you, I'm happy to report my book came today. Title 4 Flag. Shout out to you, Warren. Warren, good looking out. Title 4 Flag. Now, what book was that? I forgot about it. Let me know what book that was, because you know, nigga, I be forgetting. Y'all niggas know I be forgetting. Is that the one book about sovereignty? Let me know which book that was. Title 4 Flag. Let me know. But yeah, it was a good documentary, and she was not really feeling that white coach's formula. And then from what I was seeing from them too, I just like, dude, what I got from it, these white coaches cannot relate to black players. George Karl, all these white coaches, Steve Kerr, y'all niggas cannot relate to black players. You can't. You can act like you can, but you can't, because you gotta identify with a black player. And how you gonna identify with them when you're not black? And that's what trips me out about these race soldiers, how they'll take them from other sides of town, other states, and put them in a black neighborhood, a predominantly black neighborhood, when you know they don't relate to black kids. And then you wonder why black kids and black people are getting shot and killed, because you're putting unrelatable people in our communities. And that is done, in my opinion, by design. That's done by design. And I don't care what nobody say. It's never going away. It's done by design. And motherfucker telling you to vote, you can tell them to kiss your ass, because vote for what? Stop. Vote for what? To be fully integrated into a goddamn anti-black racism society that all they gonna do is fucking dangle carrots and give you Hansel and Gretel crumbs so you can just get to the next, because that's all you're doing. You know what I'm saying? All you doing is just kind of trying to get to the next move. I get it. You don't think I was like that? I'm the main nigga that was like that. Man, I'm just gonna work. I'm gonna get my job, making my $25, $30 an hour. Shit, then that's gonna be the good money, dude. Buy me a little house, you know what I'm saying? Work the job for the city. And then I started thinking, like, as I got older, I was like, then I had to look back like, man, I'm glad I didn't do that shit. So I could be a zombie. I'm glad I kind of went through the struggle and didn't make that type of money that I thought I was gonna make, so I can understand what life is really about. And when I'm learning to this day that when you classify who you are by the amount of materials that you've accumulated, you got to do some self-reflection. That's why nigga ain't really went to go get no haircut or did none of that shit, because I'm like, I got to do some self-reflection, because we get in that mode where we got to go accumulate material to try to keep up with people. And it's like, why do that? You don't even know these people. And even if you do know them, you know their situation. And if their corporate plantation job gets taken away, they gonna be fucked off the game just like you gonna be fucked off the game. So why compete with each other when y'all should be on the same page? Y'all niggas need to be coming together and trying to formulate some type of business and not compete with each other who got the freshest car. Oh, Title IV flag. Oh, Title IV flag is your swag or some shit like that. Hey, check out that book. I got another sovereignty book that I got too, and I'm gonna dive back into it, but I read that very, very good book. And he breaks it. It's such a simplistic book, but when you read it, you're gonna be like, damn. It tells you about all rights reserved and without prejudice and what they can and what they can't do and putting liens on bonds and all that. Like I said, when I buy this, I got a couple of shit that I gotta pay, like everybody else, but my goal is to buy the Great Book of Melanin book from this dude, The Real Nagas. I gotta get this book. I have to get this book, man. I think it's like 400 pages or 1,000 pages on melanin, everything that melanin does. I'm gonna start saving for it now because that's gonna be like my Christmas present, to get that book. And then I want to get Black Spark, White Fire, or I think it's Black by Alan Poe. This dude that was on Zoe Williams' show. I remember listening to that podcast. We was on that show like 10 years ago. And I was like, damn, I want to get it. Because I already got Ancient and Modern Britons 1 and 2. If I get White Spark, Black Spark, White Fire, if I get that, and I get the Great Book of Melanin, man, I'm going to be in the game, man. Those 3 books within itself just has so much knowledge. So it's about the knowledge, man. Now, shout out to you. Hey, you already know what it is, man. You already know, Shawnee. You have to be around people that's questing for knowledge. You can't be around people, in my personal opinion, I'm talking about just people that you really fuck with. If they're not reading, instead of you trying to proselytize to them and be a philosopher and shit, just recommend books to read. And then when they read it, have a dialogue with them about it. Not just be like, yeah, man, it's not about mental masturbation and trying to flex all the books that you read. Because let me tell you something. I've read a lot of books compared to some, but nigga, it's about the reflex memory in your brain, the neuroplasticity. Like, how much have you retained? Because you go read the books, but if you haven't retained it, you know what I'm saying? You kind of just, this mental masturbation, you just want to hear yourself talk, man. Fuck all that. And I know by the books that I have read, I have changed my belief system on thinking, especially after reading this book right here. I'm telling you. The Matrix of Power by Jordan Maxwell. That's why niggas get to talking this shit about religion and shit. I'll be like, nigga, why are you even arguing with your fellow brother and sister about religion? We created it, so who cares? Not the basic Christianity, Abrahamic religions. I'm talking about Ifa. Voodoo. Like, we created that shit. And people are behind closed doors studying this shit and then giving us Cesare Borgia. That's why I just be like, I'm not even finna argue with no nigga about no motherfucking, I'm not finna argue with no nigga about no religion. I'm not finna get into it with no nigga about none of the shit that is not important. Because a lot of the times, I see it too. When the sister was like trying to tell me, well, you need to vote. I'm like, vote for what? Then she was like, oh, because to make a change. Make a change in what? Well, make a change in policy. People buy the politicians. So the only way we can make a change is if we put our money together, practice group economics, and vote as a block, and tell the person that we vote for when we give him money in his hand, you better have a black agenda. Other than that, voting means nothing. Well, locally, okay, yeah, but even on a local level, it's a whole bunch of crooked, dirty politicians that need bread. And if you don't put no bread behind them, they ain't gonna do shit. Straight up. If you read Powernomics by Dr. Claude Henderson, that's all he talk about. The first floor is your fucking news and media or whatever and all this other shit. Then the second floor, I forgot the floors because he got a triangle of hierarchy of needs of the floors. Basically, your first floor is this, your second floor is this, your third floor, because it's vertical, and he's right. Everything is vertical. When you start talking, like arguing with a nigga about religion, we the real Jews, man, that's horizontal movement. That's lateral movement. You're not moving forward. That's why I don't like to discuss religion like that. Because it's like, well, that doesn't really mean anything. You're talking about some religious beliefs. I'm talking about what's factual. You're talking about what you claim to believe. We talking about facts. So let's talk about the facts. That's why I feel like when we're dealing with people, stop going. Look, now I don't even talk about books that I've read. I don't even talk about other books that I've read. You know what? When a motherfucker start talking this anti-Semitic shit, I just post books matter of fact, I just post pages out of the secret relationship between Jews and blacks. Because they always try to act like the Jewish community, the white Jewish community, had no type of hand in the transatlantic slave trade. And then what they do is they alligator roll you and deflect. Well, the white Jewish community, we didn't fund the I said, nobody never said you funded anything. This was on my Twitter. I was like, I never said that you funded anything. What I said is you participated in the slave trade. And then I get, well, that's anti-Semitic. I said, so if I'm around people who robbed the bank and made money off of it, and I got money also, I'm accessory to the fact, and I'm complicit with them robbing the bank, which means I'm a bank robber too, by default. Because I didn't turn them in. I didn't say it was wrong. I did not take the money. This is what I said on Twitter. I said, so I'm guilty of robbing the bank just like them. Because if they rob the bank and I'm sitting up at the crib and they come to my crib and they give me 10 stacks or 50 stacks and I keep the money and go start a business with it, that money's off of robbing a bank. So that's what the white Jewish community did as well. They got their money off of black labor. I was like, so did they get their money off of slavery or no? Oh, well, we only own 1%. I said, whether it's 1% or 10% or 100%, you own slaves. The white Jewish community owned slaves. They profited off of black labor. See, that's what we got to stick to. All this arguing back real Jews and what, man, fuck all that. The point is this. Anti-black racism is real. The white Jewish community has dominated the economic base of black folk and controlled it with their strings and give out breadcrumbs to whatever stepping fedget tell them about the gun line, Sambo Steve from Django, coon ass nigga will step up and take those crumbs. That's how it work. But I think a lot of times people be like, well, they want to focus on religion. I'm going to heaven. Nah, man, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm telling you, I work with a motherfucker that was a Jehovah's Witness and and I'm just looking at this nigga like, man, I got love for you, my nigga, but I don't give a fuck about no Jehovah's Witnesses bullshit, man. I don't care about none of that religious shit. That means nothing to me. I'm talking about what's factual. Let me tell you what's factual. They burn crosses in front of people's houses. That's factual. Colors only. Whites only. That's factual. Segregation is factual. Gentrification is factual. Redlining is factual. Lynching is factual. Jim Crow is factual. All this religious shit is here said, he said. Fuck all that. You wasting time doing that. Stop wasting the time and using these time-wasting mechanisms to get through your day. If you're not going to have real, raw and uncut conversations about things that you need to work on, then just get off the phone. You know what I'm saying? Because I be watching a lot of times and I be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, black folk, like I said before, like a black folk, oh, well, you should use the word Sambo. I was listening to this podcast, Jason Black, on the Black Authority. And it's true. Somebody called in, well, see, because we the real Hebrews and all that. And I was thinking the same thing, like, nigga, what does that have to do with the point of the white Jewish community practicing anti-black racism? What does that have to do with anything? They act like when Donald Sterling sold the Clippers, he didn't get no money. The nigga got $999 million or $1 billion when he sold the Clippers. Niggas acting like they just took the team and he couldn't make no money. Stop. The Chemical Key to Black Greatness. That book is 1800. What the fuck? For real? See, you know I'm about to look this shit up, Tony. You know I'm about to look this shit up right now. I'm about to look this shit up. The Chemical Key to Black. Let's see. Let me see. The Chemical. Let's see. Come on, man. Chemical Key to Black Greatness. Let me see. It's not even Melon, the Chemical Key. Okay, yeah, they're not even saying how much it is. On mine. Yeah, it doesn't even give a price. Damn, $987? God damn. What the fuck is going on? Why is that book? That book must be dope. the fuck? No, I'm just looking at, I'm gonna just add it to my cart. And I'm gonna tell you another reason why these books is going for the eye, because now it's about Black Lives Matter. So now you got some of these pretending woke white folk want to go out and read a book, and all they do is making money off it and gouging up the prices. That's all they're doing. They don't give a fuck about our history. They don't want to know. Why would they? It doesn't affect them. It only affects us. And if they do want to know, they want to know to use it against us. They don't want to know so they can come to the knowledge and they can stop doing it. Because if that's the case, then why doesn't a white person, as of today, come out and say black people deserve reparations and not no $1 billion? They deserve like 60 trillion. They built this country that we all profit off of, and that all these other immigrants come here and profit off of. They built it. No, there's so many white people that be on my Twitter and my mentions talking about, oh, black folks weren't the only people that built the country, the Native Americans. What fucking thing did the Native Americans build besides a TP? Tell me. These motherfuckers act like they was working in the coal mine going down, down, down. Them niggas wasn't doing shit. They wasn't picking no goddamn cotton. No, let me tell you what they was doing. Signing treaties and getting their bread and catching niggas and taking them back to the slave plantation. That's what they was doing. So stop it. And then when the shit about to come their way, like when they was getting ready to turn the hose on them so-called Native Americans, they got mad. And then you can't even call them a so-called Native American, because my thing is history teaches me that y'all wasn't the first ones here. But what happens is we just go with what the norm is. That's why when anybody speaks out and be like, well, I feel like we the real Hebrew Israelites. Y'all come from Khazaria. Motherfucker be like, oh, that Khazaria stuff is fake. It's published. Why is it a book? That's one. Two, if Dr. Frances Welsing is talking about some pseudoscience bullshit, then why was she battling all these other anti-black racist white supremacists? Why was she debating them? If what I'm saying is all lies, why would you even debate me? You'd be like, this dude is lying. I don't even need to talk to him. There's no need to fact check. He's lying. But you debated Dr. Frances Welsing because you know what she was saying was real. William Shockley, stop. I just think a lot of people will be thinking like it's all sweet, it's all good, just like Joe Rogan. Motherfucking Joe Rogan, I've never really been a fan of Joe Rogan like that. I just never really been a fan. I feel like Dave Chappelle made him popular when Dave Chappelle was doing the Fear Factor shit. I think that made him popular to black folk. But I used to watch Fear Factor. This is my take on Joe Rogan. He's one of those sarcastic ass anti-black racists that like will act like he's not racist, but say racist things and practice anti-black racism, and then kind of like hide behind like, dude, what do you mean? Like that. That's what I get. I feel like he's an anti-black racist, and he practices anti-black racism every chance he get. Even though he do got a kid by the nigga from H-Town's baby mama. So stop it. Well, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Or not a kid, or he's with, I don't know what he got going on. I don't really fuck with Joe Rogan. That's for white people. I don't deal with that. I know who I fuck with, and it ain't gonna be nothing like that. I don't get enamored by listening to dominant society talking points. It's all the same shit. I get enamored when motherfuckers be speaking real shit, bringing truth to power, and saying what it is. Like Vicky Dillard and all them. She be saying some real shit. Like how she was going in on that rabbi. That's real. Like how you gonna go on Nick Cannon's, like you really want to talk shit to Farrakhan, so why don't you go sit down and talk to him? And why don't y'all publicize it? Why you have to go on Nick Cannon's class and talk shit about Farrakhan? Why don't you sit down with him? But these white Jewish scholars do not want to sit down with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan because they know what's gonna happen. They don't want to sit down with Brother Tony Muhammad. They don't want to sit down with Brother Reza Islam. Because Reza Islam, Brother Tony Muhammad, they're gonna bring books. And not just the secret relationship between Jews and blacks. They're gonna bring all kinds of other books. That's why they hated Professor Griff. See, motherfuckers think it's just the Nation of Islam. No, it's not. Go get the International Jew by Henry Ford. Go get it. You'll see. He talks about all the scandalous shit that they was doing and fucking with him. When he start calling out they fuckery and all the bullshit that they do. So stop. Hey man, I appreciate everybody listening. I appreciate everybody subscribing. Whoever subscribes, I appreciate it. Hey man, we trying to grow this shit the right way. Y'all need to go check out Master P's documentary. I'm about it. About No Limit. Very, very good documentary. Very, very good. Hey man, y'all know what life is about. Gaining this knowledge and do what you gotta do to survive. To gain the knowledge and be on the street corner talking, because to me, you just babbling. Fuck all that. Take the knowledge and do something constructive with it. and stop taking the knowledge and since you want to feel smart, and stop doing that. I had to watch myself. I read a couple of books, and I want to get around niggas and be like, well, you know, the principalities and the bullshit. Nah, I had to check myself like, nah, maybe I shouldn't say nothing at all. And I stopped. And then I learned, like, just listen to people like that because they could never understand your perspective because they ain't read these books that you read, so they don't know what the fuck is going on. They can still be a racist and have a baby with black people. It's the fantasy. Thank you. Fetish and fantasy. No motherfuckers are part of the dominant society that really fuck with black folks because they're going to show you by their works. They're not going to be in here trying to convince you that they're not racist. A dominant society motherfucker going to show you through their work, their resume, their dossier, their pedigree is going to show you. Like, oh, okay, that motherfucker a real one. They ain't on the bullshit. Whether you around or not, they ain't going to put up with no racist shit. They ain't going to put up with none of that shit. That's when you know you got a real motherfucker that's a part of dominant society that really fuck with you. And you ain't got to cheer them on and take care of them. And not take care of them, but take up for them. Because they going to be like, nah, I don't need nobody to take up for me. This is what I meant. This is what I said. And woo, woo, woo. But they going to stand on it. And they going to know what racism is. They going to know what anti-black racism is. And you ain't going to explain that shit to them. Because they going to be reading the same books you reading. And they're not going to do a Tim Wise or Jane Elliott and my mom and my daddy and all this other shit. You know, this my job and all this other shit. And then it was like, oh, well, what's up with reparation? Oh, man, you got to give it to Native Americans first. Fuck y'all niggas. Y'all know y'all built the country, but you got to give it to them first. Because we stole their land. Man, get the fuck out of here. So now you see, Jane Elliott is not an ally. That's your so-called ally. That bitch don't give a fuck about y'all. So now you see, she drops jewels, but when it came to the money, dividing the pie, see? Because then she's irrelevant. Tim Wise is irrelevant. Then ain't nobody gonna have to deal with them. No, what Tim Wise and Jane Elliott need to do is take their asses to these motherfucking dominant society events and these core plantations that you know racism, white supremacy is going on, and all this this anti-black racism is being directed towards black folk, and you need to go on there and really do care about the movement, but you don't. You profiting off of it, and you're making money off of it, just like anybody else. That's why when you see Mike Brown get killed, I don't never see no fucking Tim Wise. No, he'll go on CNN and get his talking point, but after he said, well, Dr. Francis Crest, well, that's pseudoscience bullshit. Oh, it is. So that lets you know all you needed to know about how he feels about black folk that are intelligent, black, study. Now, she's a psychiatrist. Now, if you bring a white psychiatrist, we got to bow down and give them props for everything that they say. Correct? But when it's a black psychiatrist, it's pseudoscience babble. Watch that shit. Hey, man, if you out there and you up here taking up, talking about, man, what about black on black crime? And, you know, we been killing each other too. Guilty, nigga. You a Sambo coon. Hey, man, I love all my black folks. I want positive energy. Don't be fucking your own people over to get in the good graces of these dominant society motherfuckers, because then I'm gonna hit you with a guilty nigga again. Hey, man, nothing but love, respect. I'm out. Peace.